YouTube, welcome back to my channel. It has been a while, apologies, but I'm back with a crime story. So again, just like, comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching all my other crime stories as well, it's greatly appreciated. Now the twins are here, it's making it a little bit harder to be doing crime stories as often, but please keep an eye on my channel so you get a notification when I do put one up. Tonight's crime case is going to be the George Murdoch case. Alright, now this case took place in Aberdeen in 1983. Now this case is still very much a live case at the moment. As recent as September 2022, they put out a further appeal. It did happen in 1983. As I said, it is unsolved. So as we always do, I will give the facts of the case, and what I will do at the end of this video is pop on the spirit box just to see if we can get any more information, but I'll explain more when we come to that. Let's get started though. George Murdoch was raised in Aberdeen, and he was described as a likeable character, a hard worker, just a normal working guy. He liked his pigeons, he also liked boating. Now he was 37 years married to his wife Jessie, and in the late 70s he was made redundant from the factory that he worked. Now at this point he had decided that he would take up a job as being a taxi driver. His wife Jessie wasn't overly keen at this decision, due to the fact she was worried late nights that he might get robbed, and he assured her that even if he did get robbed, he would let them take the money, he wouldn't fight for it. It gave her a little bit of peace of mind, but again, to make ends meet, they didn't really have a choice other than for George to take this job, which he did. On the 29th of September 1983, around 8:30 PM, George was parked at Queen Street in Aberdeen when a passenger got in his taxi, a young male, and he had radioed through to control room to let control room know that he was heading to Coulter. Now, 2 or 3 miles down the road, George then pulled into Pitcottle's Station Road. Now, this is where the incident took place. George was attacked with a cheese wire, and when this was happening, the car door opened and both men rolled out the car, and at this point there was 2 teenagers passing by on their bikes, and they reported that George was asking for help and asking them to get help, and that's exactly what they did. Both teenagers made it to the police station and they did report what they had saw. They told the police that they'd saw a man being strangled to death. The police then went to where the boys had reported this incident, and sadly George had already passed away. Now it was said that the murder weapon was left at the scene. His wallet had been stolen, and in total, it was a total of between £21 and £35 that had been stolen. Now, that doesn't sound a lot, but if you think back to 1983, the value of money then was much more. So although it wasn't a lot, it was still a lot more than what the value would have been now. Now, the police only had the 2 teenagers as witnesses, and they had described the man as 5'7", clean shaven, a man in his 20s, 30s, dark hair, wearing dark clothes and possibly soaked in blood. Now when the police put this out, it did then generate a lead from the local chip shop, which they had said that a man had came into the chip shop with scratches in his face, a black eye and blood in his hands. Now the police never located that man, but what you've got to remember is with Aberdeen as well, at that time in 1983 the oil industry was just starting to build, so a lot of people were coming into Aberdeen at that time, and it was thought by the police that it was likely someone who wasn't local to Aberdeen. Unfortunately, the case ran cold pretty quickly. They only had the 2 witnesses, which were the teenagers. Other than that, they put out fresh appeals. They had no further leads or nothing to go on. Now, sadly, Jessie, George's wife, actually passed away in March 2004. Again, not knowing what happened to her husband or who did it to him in the first place. Although the case had made headline news on numerous occasions, still no leads and nothing changed. As I said, the case had ran cold until years later in September 2022, when something else came to light, and the police then put out a fresh appeal. The police issued a fresh appeal in September 2022 because a man had been seen in the Wilson Sports Bar in Aberdeen, and apparently a conversation had taken place which, due to the other appeals that had been put out in the past, made someone come forward to say a conversation had taken place. Now, it wasn't disclosed which the conversation was, but the police then put a statement out after 39 years to say the description from the sports bar was an Iron Maiden t-shirt the man was wearing, small and stocky, in his 60s to 70s and local to Aberdeen. Now, I'm going to pop the t-shirt up just now, and what we're going to do is get into a bit of the case, what we think, or what I think myself, sorry, and also you can pop in the comments what you guys think just before we do the spirit box. I will do the spirit box and then I'll do the conclusion. Now, if you're not into the psychic part of this, I would switch off now. Not so much a trigger warning, but just to let you know, we're going to get into the spirit box. But also I'm going to give you a little bit on what I get from the description from the man in the bar. As I've been doing the research in this case, it's something that I've really vibed into, in the sense that as soon as I got the description, I knew this person was going to be local. And I think that's where the police went wrong, that they suspected it was a passerby, because at that point the oil industry was booming. And again, it would be a given to think that as well. What I'll also get with it is that this person that was at the bar is very much, I feel, a bit of a loner. And I feel like whatever the conversation was that took place was not because he wanted to get it off his chest. I feel this person had quite a drink in them, but just because they keep everything to themselves. And I feel quite honoured about this. Like, I feel it was quite a smarmy conversation. Let's get started with the spirit box before I give away my full conclusion. Myself at the best. So if you've never used or heard the spirit box before, a bit of a trigger warning here, where it can be quite noisy, it can be quite hard of hearing. But once you get in the rhythm of it, and if you've never been on one of my spirit box lives, Christy's readings over on Facebook and Instagram, we do them quite often. I find that a fantastic tool, especially when you're trying to create some sort of story or find something out through spirit, when you start putting it all together. So if you hear a buzzword or just one word in particular, please comment below. It really, really helps, because again, when you're reading the comments, it can give you a better idea of what the spirit box is trying to tell us. And I do feel tonight, because both George and his wife are in spirit, that we are going to get a little bit out of this. So listen carefully. If you've got headphones, then brilliant, but do not worry if you don't. If it is too noisy, just turn it down. And again, that's where the comments are handy. If you comment, you're maybe helping someone else that maybe can't hear it as well. First question I think we should start with is, Spirit, could you tell me who killed George Murdoch?
Where?
Is this man local to Aberdeen? Spirit, can you tell me why this man killed George Murdoch? Nickel tree. For a nickel. Who else knows that this man has committed this murder? Give their names. Did the teenagers know who the murderer was?
Family.
Spirit, will this man be caught? In time. Is a female going to give his secret away? Spirit, have I read for anyone that connects to this situation? When will he be caught? Can you give me any first names or surnames of the murderer or their family? Bear. Maybe Robert. He was cutting. The conclusion, the fun part. Now, I've never normally done these. I've been gifted these new cards recently from a dear friend, and I'm really starting to enjoy using them. They're all kind of one-word answers, so I feel like doing this and speaking about the conclusion. I'm going to shuffle the cards as well, just in case anything jumps. I feel the character that has did this is still very much local, and I want to say that it's becoming more and more a talking point, probably from September. I feel the clothing and the fact that someone's quite isolated in their cell. I want to say sometimes it might look like repenting. I feel this person could have a drink problem as well. Possibly the name Robert connects with something, but I do see justice coming in round about it at the end of May. I want to say that they're maybe closer than expected to something coming out round this, but I do feel this man was robbed for his money. I don't feel it was personal, and I do feel that possibly one of the teenagers knew him or thought he was familiar in some way. I do also feel with a fresh set of eyes looking over the case, I want to say psychically I get new police officers, or there's a new connection with something that's going to bring in a good change where someone's thinking outside the box. I feel like there wasn't enough evidence or even to do with statements. I want to say the police at the time, what I do know is they visited 10,000 houses and took 8,000 statements, still with no prevail. I just find that really, really strange. I want to say they maybe focused too much on the fact that it could have been a passerby. Right, okay, get more information, goes without saying. Take action, there's something better, in peaceful resolution. So that would tell me that there's more to come with this. And I do feel a female's going to have some sort of arrest or charge against her, or there's going to be talk around this, and I do feel possibly police are already aware of this, but they've not put that out. Could be completely wrong, so just hold that thought just in case. But I do get something along that. Take action, get more information. I feel going into the next 3 months we're going to see a lot more about this case, especially around social media and to do with leads. I feel there's going to be a lot more around television to do with it. Peaceful resolution tells me that peace is coming in and justice is coming in around it. But I want to say this man was robbed for his money. It wasn't personal. As I said, I do feel that there was a familiar face where possibly somebody, a witness, whether it's be one of the teenagers, but somebody had a feeling they knew who this person was, possibly to do with the chip shop, I'm unsure. But I also get it's not the first time that an attack had happened, that this man had did this, and I feel again within that area, yeah, I've got to give what I get. I have really enjoyed doing this case. The fact that it is still a live case. It's Aberdeen Police that are dealing with it. So if you do have any information at all, please call 101. I said I do think there'll be justice served, but I feel very, very sad for the family or anyone involved that is triggered by this. I do apologise, but I do think doing cases like this, considering that it has been spoken about in September 2022, there's nothing good than raising awareness in something like this, whether you share this video, whether you go and Google the murder yourself. Think back to people you know. If you come from that area, can you place something that might not have been placed at the time? Just because it happened 38, 39 years ago, you might be that person with that one bit of information that could actually piece something together. The reason I'm saying it is psychically I do get that someone's going to come forward. I don't know if there's a lack of DNA evidence, which I find strange because they had the murder weapon. So that tells you maybe this person's never ever been involved with the police before now. But is that because they've never been in trouble? Or is that more because they're a bit of a recluse, where they don't speak to anyone, they don't tell anyone their secrets? So again, someone like that can get away with a lot more if they don't have to worry if they've not spoke it out. And I feel that pub was a prime example of someone overboiling, but not because they couldn't take the guilt, but because they were angry about something else. And I feel the comments maybe went along the lines of, I did it once, I'll do it again, or something like that, to do with money and to do with trading. I don't know what it is, but I will give it to you. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed it. And again, if you live in that area and you think you can help with that case or give the police information, please don't hesitate. I can imagine every little bit counts to put this together. And again, I'm wishing so much peace on the family. I feel very sad that his partner or wife, passed away before justice has been served. Thank you again. I hope you all stay safe. Take care. Remember and subscribe. You will get a notification the next time I'm uploading our next crime case. Not too sure when it is. I'm going to try and come back to being a little bit more consistent. The boys are now 6 months, so we are getting there slowly but surely. But we are over on Facebook and Instagram. We've got loads going on over there, whether it be free readings. If you want to book a reading with myself, that's where you would get me. It'd be on Instagram or Facebook. Christy's Readings, just the same spelling as the channel. Yeah, that's us. I hope you stay safe, take care, and see you all soon.